We're back on the Sports Zone. I am Mike Aglialoro. Once again, thanks to everyone who subscribed to the YouTube channel Mike Ags121. Don't forget to subscribe under the video if you like the video, and check out thisissportszone.com for more. So I do apologize for having missed the last 2 weeks with both Sit 'em Up and Start 'em Down. We were fairly successful in the 9 weeks leading up to our hiatus, shall we say. It's just been a rough couple weeks, folks, so I do apologize for that. But we're back, and for the rest of the season, we will be back each week doing 4 up, 4 down, instead of the Sit 'em Up and Start 'em Down segments. So we're going to do 4 guys you should roll with for that week, and of course the 4 guys you should have nothing to do with for that particular week. We're going to start with the quarterback this week. We'll start with Ryan Mallett of the Houston Texans at home going against the Cincinnati Bengals. At 6,900, he's really the only reasonably priced quarterback I would go with this week. I like him against the Bengals. As much as the Bengals are ranked among the best defenses in terms of stopping the quarterbacks from getting fantasy points, they have given up big games to quarterbacks like Blake Bortles, Joe Flacco, and Cam Newton over the course of the season and thus far, so they can be beaten. Mallett looked pretty good in his first NFL start, and I like him under center to improve little by little each week, given the quality of the skill players he has around him. Whether it's Arian Foster or Alfred Blue in the backfield, you still got Andre Johnson and DeAndre Hopkins in the passing game. There's a lot to work with for Ryan Mallett. So I like him against the Bengals. The guy I would avoid at quarterback this week at $9,000. I really don't like Drew Brees' matchup on the road against the Baltimore Ravens. Saints haven't been good at home. They haven't been good on the road. They haven't been good, period. And Brandon Cooks, one of his top weapons so far this season, is going to be out for the rest of the season, put on IR earlier in the week. So I would stay away from Brees this week, and if you want a cheaper option, you go with Ryan Mallett. We'll move on to the running backs. The guy I like at running back this week is Trey Mason of the St. Louis Rams, on the road against the San Diego Chargers at 5,600 on FanDuel.com. He's a cheaper priced option, and you definitely see, as of the last couple of weeks, he's the guy getting the bulk of the carries in the Rams' backfield. He may not be able to do much in terms of the passing game, so you are going to see Benny Cunningham. But if you want a cheap play to go with, the San Diego Chargers, another defense that can be beaten. We've seen it over the last month. Look for Mason to get at least 75 rushing yards, and he's going to get a touchdown this week, folks. The running back I would avoid this week, Denard Robinson, the second-year player for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Robinson looked great the last few weeks before the Jaguars' bye week, but against the Colts, I just really think the Colts are going to put the game away early, and as a result, they're not going to use Robinson in the backfield. They're not going to run the ball if they're getting blown out by 30 points. You're going to see a lot of garbage time yards for Blake Bortles and guys like Cecil Shorts. But it's not going to translate to anything for Robinson. Robinson has 16 catches through 10 games so far. But he's only gotten 67 yards from those 16 catches. So he's not really getting anything and not really being utilized properly in the passing game. I would skip him this week, go with Trey Mason. At wide receiver, there are a lot of really good wide receiver options this week. You got Josh Gordon coming back from the Cleveland Browns at 7,800. You got DeAndre Hopkins. I already said I like Ryan Mallett this week. He's going to be priced at 7,400 this week. You got, like I said, Cecil Shorts of the Jacksonville Jaguars with Allen Robinson put on the IR this week. A lot of garbage time to go around there. He's priced reasonably at 6,300, but the guy I like at wide receiver this week is Kenny Stills of the New Orleans Saints. Not a fan of Drew Brees this week, but I do like Stills' chances of putting up big numbers in the second half of the season with Brandon Cooks on IR. Him and Cooks do a lot of the same things. Stills is not as explosive as Cooks is, but he can be used in some of the same packages that Cooks would be used in. As a result, I look for at least one long catch, going to get at least 70 yards on the day and at least one touchdown. At 5,900, he's the guy you start at wide receiver. The guy you want to avoid this week, Julio Jones of the Atlanta Falcons going against the Cleveland Browns, priced at 8,000 on FanDuel.com. Just do not like the matchup for Jones. Don't like the way the Falcons have been playing over the last week. Matt Ryan did terrible last week. The Falcons as a whole, that offense is just, I would stay away from that offense completely if you can. At tight end, the guy you want to go with this week is Antonio Gates of the San Diego Chargers going against the St. Louis Rams. Reasonably priced at $6,300. He's had a couple down weeks, under 5 fantasy points in each of the last 2 weeks, so he's due for an explosion. The Rams defense hasn't been all that great on the season. Look for Gates to exploit that. The tight end you want to stay away from is going to be Julius Thomas of the Denver Broncos. Listed as questionable, hasn't practiced thus far this week. You want to stay away from him. Looks like he's going to be a game-time decision, and at his price, he can definitely do better. So to recap it, the 4 guys I would start this week: Ryan Mallett at quarterback, Trey Mason at running back, Kenny Stills of the very deep wide receivers this week, and that tight end you want to start Antonio Gates. The guys you want to avoid are going to be Drew Brees of the New Orleans Saints, Denard Robinson of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Julio Jones of the Atlanta Falcons, and Julius Thomas of the Denver Broncos. As always, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at WeAreSportsZone. Send us any questions and comments you may have. Thanks for watching, folks. For This is SportsZone, I am Mike Aglialoro. We'll see you next time, guys.